Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna go ahead and head back down to the barn to get some more work done down there. I wanna work on those cross braces for the 4x4s. But before I get down there, I gotta swing by the compost pile. I have all the old wood ash from the wood burner from cleaning that out. I've got the trash bin full, so I'm gonna dump that in the compost pile and then work on the barn. All right, what I want to work on today, I'm going to get some 4x4 cross braces to go at an angle, kind of 45-degree angle at each corner of these 4x4s. Gives it a little bit extra support, and it's also going to help frame in where we'll put the plywood on the outside eventually. I don't think I have any plywood that's going to match the existing barn out here. I think the stuff I have is a smaller grooves that I was using for the doors, so I'll have to eventually pick some of that up, but for today I'll just get those framed in and we can move on to the next task. Here we go. This ought to work. For consistency, I think I'm just going to do 12 inches down, 12 inches over, and then we'll kind of hold it up, get the cross reference. That'll give us an accurate, consistent point to mount these 4x4 braces. We'll still need to add a 4x4 or a 2x4 up along here as a nailer for the siding. But right now I'm just going to work on measuring out these braces. Something like that. Then we'll have a nailer for the plywood when it comes on here, and then we can measure from here 12 inches out. First thing I got to do is I got to get some drill or some screws put in here. Gonna use some of these headlock structural wood screws. These are 2 7/8 inch long. They're lag screws. They're to get a nice solid hold on this board. There's not much structural integrity on this. It's not load bearing or anything. It's just gonna hold the wall. I was just gonna put some 3/8 or 3-inch screws, exterior wood screws in here, but I don't have the bit for it for right now. I could go back to the house and get it, but we got these lags right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these in, and and it should do the trick. See how this is here. That's actually dead on right there. Perfect. So that board's secured with the lags that go down in here. That's not going anywhere. And what this does is it gives it a nice lip here, so we can match up the plywood lip here, tongue and groove, and then we'll have a nailer on the edge. Approximately right here. Gotta grab a whole another 4x4 just to do that one brace. Okay, we've got all four braces cut here now. Let's take this scrap wood and bring it back up to the barn. Still gotta wrap up all these extension cords from Christmas. Have to get to that later. All right. Let's grab these. Bring them over there and make sure that they're gonna work. Hopefully we made all the cuts right. Hope we did this right. Right up in here somewhere. It's tight in here. Something like that. Then up there we just got to put some bolt there and there, and then the other one will go right up in between there. I'm gonna put these ones in here with these headlock. These are the 6 inch. They're like the other ones that we put the 2x4 on. We put the 2x4 on with these. These are 6 inch, so much bigger. All right, I'm going to start here. The key was, when making this, I didn't want this to be too short. I wanted to be able to get in here, so I was trying to keep as much access around. Okay, let's get the second one started. Under 14 there, and we're just under 15. And a half. All right, so I got the first two done here. They're not perfect. They're kind of messing with my eyes a little bit. This side over here looks like it's a little bit shorter, but when I do the measurements, they're all about the same on both sides. So I think it's just because that old 4x4 that's in the middle, the darker color, and it's not perfectly straight, I guess. It's not level. It kind of throws it all off, but it's about the same, and it'll eventually be tied in with plywood. And I just noticed something a minute ago, that the plywood that's on the outside of this barn right here is flush to the front of these 2x6s up here, and flush here, and we put this nailer in earlier. But when you come across here, these 4x4 posts are not flush, they're behind the 2x6. So I might have to put a layer of 2x4s on top of these 4x4s out here, in order to get plywood nice and symmetrical across the side. So I'm not looking forward to having to do that extra step, but if it makes it look better in the end, might as well do it right the first time. I went to go mount these other two and I forgot about something. This side's gonna be fine in the middle. I just have to put the piece up there and get that in. But I forgot, when we put this nailer piece over here, I ended up switching out the treated 2x4 with a treated 2x6. Reason being is because on the top, when this piece goes in, the 4x4 brace goes in, it comes down. It was the 2x4, it was only gonna be halfway on the 2x4. So I had to put the 2x6 in here to compensate for that gap up there so that the 4x4 would come sit on this side, and then we'll have to put the filler 2x4 in front of that. That should be flush to this 2x4, then we can do the siding all the way across. So I'm glad I caught that before I started mounting that angle up there. That would have been driving me crazy, but now I can get those other two up there and we should be good to go. All right, so all 4 cross members are built and secured. And the next step I have to do is just cut out those 2x4 pieces to put on the front of this. That way it can be nice and flush for the siding plywood. So I need 2 8-foot treated 2x4s, and then I've got this treated 2x4 that I took off from when we had the nailer. I'll try to get a couple of these cross braces. We should at least get 3, maybe 4, but we'll see depending on the measurements. So I'm gonna get those cut out now and get those on, and then this whole front side will be ready to be tied in with plywood, which I don't have right now, but we'll get later and finish this off. But almost there. Let me get this 2x4s cut up and it should look pretty good. These will all fit in place. I just need to go through and get them all screwed in, the 2x4s and these little cross braces. This is just to help with the siding, so it should be the last piece until we put the plywood on. All right, there we go. It's all framed in. I've got the 4x4 bracing up and the 2x4 outer bracing, I guess, just the tied up so that the plywood can be flush. Now we just need to get the plywood that we can put across and cut out, and we'll be good to go. Before I forget, we have to change the timer on the chicken door because now we're past the winter solstice. It starts getting darker later. And so there was actually 2 or 3 chickens stuck out here last night when Jerry and the kids came by. So we're gonna adjust that up to 6 p.m. We're just gonna get an extra half hour. And while I'm down here as well, I think I have some clear caulking that I can caulking around the holes that we have out here drilled. Get that tidied back up. Guess I'm gonna have to get the manual. I don't remember what the settings were. I have to find a little book so we can read and get that adjusted here. We'll get this thing programmed, changed, and then this hole right here where we have the wire going through, I need to get some caulking in there, and there's probably a couple other holes. Since I have some caulking, I can hit up with that while we're here. We'll get that manual. All right, so here's what it is. I probably have to hit that button, press the button for 3 seconds to enter and exit program settings. There we go. Position 1, 7 a.m. Position 2, that's at 5:30. We need to change that every day, 6 o'clock. Set to open up at 7 a.m. in the morning, and the door will automatically open, the chickens will come out, and then it'll set close automatically at 6 p.m. So should have plenty of time. We could always come back and readjust it as it stays lighter later in the day. But now that's done, I'm gonna get some caulking and just fill in these holes here. I'm using some of this window and door siding and trim. It's just exterior grade sealant, and I have this stuff is supposed to be clear, I believe. Yeah, it'll say clear at the top. So I'm gonna just use this, fill in some of these holes here. It's all white now, but it should dry clear. I don't have anything to put above this, so I'm just gonna put a bead of silicone here. It's caulking. So if the water comes running down the barn or the chicken coop, try to get it to run away from this thing and not into it. I think that's everything out here that needs to be caulked. I don't want to put anything too low. I don't want the chickens pecking at it and getting sick. I ended up using the rest of that caulking. I didn't have anywhere else to put it. I didn't want it to dry up, so I did go down along the side of the chicken coop here and filled in some of this rotted out gap just as a temporary patch in there until eventually someday I'll be replacing the siding. But for now I just filled that in with that caulking. And then there's a couple little pieces out front, like where the siding meets here And I used up the last little bit right here. You can see the white. It'll all dry clear, so you won't even be able to tell it's there looking at it. I think that's just about it for today. It's been so cloudy and overcast. Just wanted to get some of the barn taken care of here. At least we're ready now for the plywood to be, I need to purchase some plywood. We're ready for the plywood to be put on. And then that part of the barn will be done and ready to move on to probably the goat stall next door, which I have a deposit down on 2 wethers for this spring. Those are cut, castrated male goats. So we have 2 wethers that'll be probably between 8 and 12 weeks old, so little babies. That'll be here somewhere March, April, May, somewhere in that spring time frame. So we need to get that goat stall taken care of, get that built out, and make sure everything's set up for the goats. And then hopefully before we get the goats, we'll have the pigs out of here harvested, and we can start redoing the whole layout for the pig paddocks behind the barn. I have an idea what we can do to split those up. But wanted to get some of these loose ends tightened up and sealing off the chicken coop here with some of that caulking and getting that programmer change for the door. That's good to get that knocked out. I appreciate you guys following along on today's video. And hey, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell. Stay notified when we release new videos. Now, I do appreciate everyone joining in, just to give you guys a glimpse of what goes around here at Ferko Family Farm as we're slowly building out the infrastructure and growing out our herds. So again, it's very much appreciated you guys following along. Until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.